G'day guys, it's the Pinking here, and I'm back with another of my round 3 AFL 2020 season. This matchup is the last of the round. It's Gold Coast versus Swans, both 1-1 teams, so mid-table clash. Apparently it's a foggy day on the Gold Coast, so that would be interesting. Yeah, let's get into it. So the Suns versus the Swans. Very similar colours there.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us for Sunday afternoon football.
Good looking Metricon Stadium, but the surrounds look a bit weird. But, oh well, straight off Google Maps apparently.
Welcome, Gaz.
How's the team looking?
Today, Hutto, there really has been a big build-up for this clash.
Alright. I didn't see many of the young guys for Gold Coast. They're playing a more experienced side, but Swans coming out.
They're looking sharp and the crowd are appreciating it. I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good.
The banners look great as the players get set to run through them.
Let's do it.
The captains converge for the toss of the coin.
So looks like Luke Parker is playing today. Peter Wright, the captain of Suns? I'm not sure anymore.
Here today.
Here we go.
The umpire
Ball's bounced. Did I? Oh fuck! I didn't take my bad. All fixed. Accidentally screwed over the Suns for the first ruck tap there, but anyhow, they end up with the ball.
Good mark and looks to send it back.
Rampy marks it on the wing. He sends it wide to a 1-on-1. Well, Hayward takes the mark in front of whatever Suns player that is, and he decides to do a 1-2 and a 2-2 now. So off they go into the forward 50, and Jared Harvell takes the mark and sends it straight back out onto the wing. Suns end up with it. It's a 3-on-3, and Alira ends up with it. And he goes backwards for Pierce Hanley to take a mark on the 50. So Pierce Hanley could have almost taken the shot, but instead he goes to Peter Wright, who's definitely not the one who was the captain. That should have been 50. Who's the captain of Gold Coast at the moment?
Can he put it through?
Well, Peter Wright kicks it.
Between the big sticks, he puts through his first goal.
Who's 28?
Pretty happy with that one. Right, with the opening goal.
But anyway, this time the ball goes up and no issues.
Handballs to a teammate on the run. Drifts wide to go through from behind. Sydney, go right in this contest now.
Franklin does the old Colonel Light and points around.
Looks like the ball. And
Luke Parker takes the mark from the kick out. So Sydney have a chance to go in front here.
Move it on. Sydney looking to turn the game with this goal.
Yeah, good kick.
Kick goes astray and it's out on the full. Thompson clears the
alright, so it's David Swallow and Jared Witts. I'm assuming it's Jared Witts that.
He takes the mark.
Yeah, that's him right there. I just remembered it being a big tall bloke. Anyway, holding the ball against Tom Papley, so the Suns get the ball back after trying their hardest to allow Sydney to get in front, and Tom Papley gets a high tackle, so they start messing around in the defensive 50 again, which, you know how much I love that. Yeah, that's just asking for trouble, and it turns over to Lance Franklin, who can kick from here. It's a snapped kick. Did that hit the post on the way through? It did. Oh. I thought that was come back and scored a goal.
Unsure of their next move.
Pretty much, if Franklin's forward of the centre circle, you're in trouble if he gets the ball on a turnover.
Would love to make the
Luke Parker keeps turning the ball over. Keeps getting the ball from turnovers though. He keeps getting intercept marks. Kick to a 3-on-2 situation, and Gold Coast are away here as long as they can keep the ball moving, which they can't. It's gone into Swans' hands, and Isaac Heaney gets wrapped up.
standing out at the moment for you, Gaz.
Slapped out wide, kicked forward by the Suns, and that was quarter time apparently.
Ball still to be played. The scores are goal.
So a bit of a shambles in the first quarter. I forgot to take away control from the Suns. So I screwed up the first hit out for them, but it turns out they've lost all three of them. Anyhow,
And it's hurting them on the scoreboard.
Thank you very much, Gaz.
there's been 3 hit-outs to none, and also 6 inside 50s to 1. So Suns are on the ropes here. They're still in the lead at the moment, but yeah, they might want
The second
to be a bit more careful with the ball. Might get a bit more possession in their forward half, and
with the hit.
that's not a good start. It's 3 on none, but somehow it still ends up in the Suns' hands. 2 on 1 here. It gets forward and it's in their 50. Sexton gets slapped around by Aliir, I think, because the ball went backwards. And now Swans have the numbers. Instead, they kick it up to a big pack contest where there was about even numbers.
He has the ball. Finds his
And out the back goes the Swans. Again, they go to a 4-on-2 contest, where now it's a 2-on-1 contest. So they just don't know how to find good spots for each other.
for the boot.
They're helping the other team out here, both teams,
Does well to keep it in.
as Will Brodie takes that out of bounds.
And the ball ends up over the line.
I think every player on the ground's confused which team they're playing for, and they keep going to the wrong team.
Bit too casual with the tackle.
Broken tackle, sent forward, and the Suns are away, but why would we do that? We would kick it straight to Callum Mills, who has no one goal side of him. He still boots it away. So now it's a 2-on-1 situation, and the Gold Coast get back first. They kick it back outside the 50, where big tall players are all around, but still it goes Sydney's way, and Lockie Weller runs back onto the ball as he gets tackled. So back in the defensive 50 for the Suns, but they seem to be getting out.
Picked up now.
They charge forward, send it to the centre circle, and marked by Nick Holman, who has no one in front of him.
By foot.
Manages to find a contest, and the numbers are all Suns' way, but it looks like Heaney will get there first, and he gets tackled on the goal line, so it should get punched through for a point here. No, it goes Swans' way, and they boot it out. Can't quite reach it outside the 50, and Heaney seems to be all over the ball. In fact, he's been the one that gets tackled twice in a row for a ball up.
Witt won the hit out.
Obviously, Florence playing. He was injured in the last game, so that's good to see.
Takes possession. Rushes with the kick.
I think he had a pretty serious injury, so the fact that he's playing right now seems a bit unlikely. Anyhow, the ball goes on the ground, and Jared Witts decides to kick it forward for a point.
Gold Coast by 5 points.
They're almost a goal ahead,
They chase up.
which is surprising because most of the play's been for Sydney up until the last 5 minutes. Well, in this game, 15.
Collected the ball.
Florence now decided to pick up the ball and get pinged for a ball up twice in a row. Suns trying to get it back inside, but they're going backwards to do so. 3-on-2, Franklin kicks it forward. Good bump, and now it's a 2-on-1 situation. They could have just handballed to Franklin. Instead, they kick it forward, and they lose the 2-on-1 situation to Lockie Weller, who's having a great game in the back line. Time will run out because they don't go direct. And half-time sees it 7-2.
Gold Coast have had a
5 points the difference. Suns in front and looking a lot more promising that quarter. It was spend a lot of time in their forward half. That being said, it's still 3 inside 50s to 9.
hit a target when going.
They've even up the hit-outs, which is always a good sign. They had 5 hit-outs to 2 in that quarter, and that's about it. There's not much else to really look at. Yeah, Lockie Weller in there. Apparently he's only had 2 disposals, but I've seen both of them, so he's looked good. Yeah, that's about it.
Players back on the field to begin the second half here.
Ball is up, and Oliver Florent pushes whoever that was in the back.
Brand didn't mark it.
Oliver Florent has had a bit of a mare of the last 10-20 minutes as Lewis Melican takes the mark at the top of the goal square and puts it to a 3-on-1 situation, which obviously they're going to lose to Peter Wright, who's 2 metres tall. That's 50 twice, and Peter Wright puts that pretty much through the, straight through the goals. So Gold Coast somehow still finding themselves in a good situation, considering the inside 50s are still skewed Swans' way. But they just seem to be getting all the right play at the moment. Ball goes the wrong way for them. Tap straight to Rory Thompson though, so Rory Thompson gets wrapped up and it's ball up. Again they lose the tap, but they've got numbers on that side of the ruck. Goes forward, 3-on-2 in the marking situation, and it's Suns that get the ball out, but they get wrapped up and he handballs out to a Sydney player. And Lockie Weller again with the intercept. He just seems to be doing all the right things. He kicks to Jesse Joyce, who's apparently one of the leading disposal getters at the moment. They get a chain of handballs. No one in front of them. They could have handballed on. Instead, Hugh Greenwood has the shot for himself and misses. There was a bloke running into an open goal square that he could have handballed straight to, so that was a bit silly. They play on and kick to the pocket where Dane Ramp plays on. Danger ball here. Don't know what's happening. Yep. What was the... Was Callum Sinclair just reported? There was a big warning sign on it.
13 points the difference.
Sanday just ran into an open goal and missed. And Dane Ramp plays on, kicks it out in the full. So Suns have an opportunity here to go 3 goals up. And they miss it. Was that on the full? No, it was a point. Okay. 14 points the difference. So still 3 straight kicks is needed for Swans to get in front. Again, Callum Sinclair plays on. Isn't he a ruckman? Why is he taking the kickouts? Never let ruckman take kickouts. And Brody turns it around and hits the post. He almost made
15 points the difference.
Sinclair pay the price, who's again taking the kick out, and he's kicked it straight to Isaac Heaney, who took a one-handed grab, and he chips it along, and still messing around way too much in the forward 50. It was a 2-on-1, and Sydney escaped that one. Kick it straight to a 2-on-1 situation as a marking contest, and Rory Thompson fails to find the target. So Swans just keeping them. Suns just keeping the Swans in it at the moment. They've finally taken Sinclair off and finally get it outside 50, but unfortunately it doesn't go far because Hugh Greenwood takes the mark, sends it straight back in. Dane Rampy gets right in the right spot for it. Sends it back outside, and finally they might not have to. No, there's another re-entry, and this will probably be a goal. It's frozen a bit, but Nick Holman kicks it. So yeah, not looking good for the Swans now. 24-2 now. It's going to take 4 straight kicks to get in front, and Swans, I don't know if they have it in them. Throwing the ball against Rory Thompson, so he's doing his best to keep the Swans in it single-handedly. Ball goes forward off Franklin's boot, and it's going to run out of bounds. Not before Jordan Murdoch picks it up first. He gets tackled over the line. Ball up, and Franklin's now taking the rucks as the 3/4 time siren goes. 22 points the difference. That's a big quarter for the Suns. They'd be happy with this position. They'll be really excited getting a 2-1 start of the season. Don't think many people would have tipped them to do so. They're losing the hitouts again. They've only had 1 hit out that quarter. Inside 50s though are now even, so pretty good. Looking at it, Peter Wright currently 2 goals. He's the only multiple goal scorer here. Probably would give him the votes at the moment. Who is the guy that keeps taking the intercept marks? I'd give him second place, but I don't think the game will. And then you've got Dane Rampy, who's probably the major ball winner that I've seen most for Sydney. He's probably going to get in the votes there somewhere as well. So the ball gets tapped out and played by Sydney. They've gone sideways again. Callum Sinclair's there. Somehow ends up in a Gold Coast player's hands, and he kicks it forward. Sexton could get back onto it, but he doesn't need to because it's a goal from David Swallow, who was the player that I wasn't sure who got the ball. And they've just about ended Sydney's chances of winning now. They've kicked 2 points for the game, and they have to kick another 30 to... Really, that's the only way they're going to do it. Kick 5 goals straight. You're not going to kick 4 goals. What would it be? 4 goals 4? 4 goals 5 to get in front, really. But they're not going to kick 4 goals 5 to get in front. They have to kick 5 goals straight. Ball goes up again. Ball spills loose. Players around the ball. Sydney's way, and they go backwards again, and every single time they go backwards it ends up being beneficial for Suns. If they just went forwards with it, they'd be in a much better spot. Caden Brand, I didn't know he played for Sydney. He go to Sydney in the end. Anyway, ball goes out, and Jesse Joyce kicks it out in the full.
Rampy elects to kick.
Big pack, look like a lot of Gold Coast players around it. It's 3-on-3 for another marking contest, and it goes forward to Sydney. They've got numbers. Played on by Isaac Heaney. He's been pretty good too. Big pack forms again. They just love bombing it up to packs, don't they? Well, not in that instant, unless you count the crowd as a pack. Melicans just fucking bombed it. You thought it was the t-shirt cannon. Gold Coast got a long way back. In fact, it's about 3 metres from the boundary line. They finally kick it back out to the 50, but
The loose ball scooped up.
that was real trouble. Tom McCartney gets wrapped up and tapped the ball. Time running out pretty quickly. Dane Rampy versus Alex Sexton. Sexton kicks it forward, then bumps Rampy. It's a 1-on-1. Sydney get back, and if Sexton hadn't done that, I think he had the legs to beat Rampy. If he had just gone and tried to outrun him, that probably would have been a goal. But instead he bumps, and clearance from Gold Coast. Who's that ended up? Sean Lemons? How'd that end up in Sean Lemons' hands? Alir dropped an easy, like a sitter of a mark. And Sean Lemons capitalises with a goal. So this is looking real ugly for Sydney right now. Percentage booster for Gold Coast. Something that needs to happen on Sydney's behalf. They haven't kicked a goal all game.
A lot of possessions for him.
Who was that? He bustled through as Rory Thompson gets done for, or gets wrapped up. He didn't get done for anything. Bombed up again. It gets Gold Coast players back. It was a 3-on-0 if he had been quicker, but Isaac Heaney ends up with it again. Player loose. It's Tom Papley who's taking the mark.
40 metres from home.
And Tom Papley's missed.
Shot at goal.
That's a really poor finish there. Had to find a way to do better.
Oh. See, I thought Caden Brand had gone to Essendon, but apparently he's gone to Sydney.
Weighing up the options now. Kicks it out of the defensive 50. Off hands from Miller.
And,
And pumps it through the...
Isaac Heaney kicks a goal on the siren to deliver Swans with 1 goal for the game. So they didn't go goalless for the whole game. He looks pretty chuffed with himself. Pretty terrible play though. Taking a bounce in the back pocket. Spills loose, and Isaac Heaney picks up and slots it on the siren. So Swans make it... I mean, this is still embarrassing, but at least they kicked a goal. What's that, 25 points? Or 27?
Gold Coast get the job done today.
I think it's 27.
Gary, what do you make of the result?
Yeah, it's 27 points. So, yeah, Gold Coast win by 27. Pretty convincing. Pretty good margin. Pretty good percentage booster. And that now means that Gold Coast are 2-1 for the season, and they'll be in the top 8, I think.
Scores at 5, 6, 36 to 1, 3, 9.
That really doesn't look like a stat line that deserves a pumping, but that's what it is. Player of the match. Looking at that, you'd probably have to say Jesse Joyce will be in there. Dane Rampy will be in there. And Peter Wright will be in there. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Not even close. Dane Rampy was in there. Luke Parker and Lockie Weller. I mean, Lockie Weller got 4 disposals. Luke Parker got 7. So, I mean, yeah, Luke Parker's a fair shout. But Luke Parker was best on ground and Lockie Weller was second best. Did not see Jesse Joyce at all? Did not see Jesse Joyce at all. Why has he been shunned? Who was taking on the marks? Was that Lockie Weller? I think it was Lockie Weller. Did you get in the best players? Okay, so that's fair enough. Lockie Weller was one of the players I said did well. He got second best, so I'd actually agree with that one. Luke Parker didn't really do much. I mean, how can you? If you're a midfielder and your team only scores 1 goal for the game, how can you really be named best on ground? But anyway, that will do it for the game.